You are now listening to the
Next,
Hot
I
Take
did want
Hot
to talk
Box.
about the games from this past weekend. Lions, 49ers, Chiefs, Ravens. Let's start with the game that happened first. Chiefs, Ravens. Ty, I gotta say, I would be having a mental breakdown if I was a Ravens fan because, this is something that I thought all season long was that I didn't think the Ravens offense was really that good anyway. The play calling, just the scheme that they ran. Lamar Jackson didn't run nearly as much as I thought he was going to or wanted him to. That's why I picked him in fantasy because he's a weapon with his legs and he would run from time. Like it just didn't seem like it was the same focus that it was before. Maybe that was on purpose to try to keep him healthy, but you're in the AFC Championship game. It's kind of time to cut it loose, and they really had trouble scoring the ball on Sunday. And I know the weather wasn't great and everything, but the Chiefs again are just one of those all-time dynasty championship level teams who just find a way to get it done. They really do, and shout out to them. And your girl Taylor Swift is going to the Super Bowl.
Let's go. I know everybody's so pissed that she's on TV for an average of 25 whole seconds of a 3.5-hour broadcast. I know, it's just so terrible, right? I mean, seeing her, so annoying. I'd much rather see a Geico commercial. Yeah. Anyway.
Why do you think, Ty, I didn't want to ask you, why do you think people get so upset about that? Like, is it because it's like infiltrating their level, like their love of football, and it's like people, yeah, like, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess it would be like if somebody's not a fan of her, and there's a lot of people who aren't, or, just not their type of whatever content that they want to incorporate themselves with. They see it and they feel like it's being forced on them, and they think it's like, I don't know. I think people are just weird. People are just absolute weird, and they're bored, and they're idiots, and they're lame, and they think, this is like a setup. It's something to draw viewership up, which it has done. But I don't think it's not a generated relationship that they just said, all right, we're gonna have to make this happen. Like it seems like two superstars in their different fields have come together and are dating. It's not the craziest thing in the world. Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens on a much lower scale are doing the same thing.
But like if they show her in the box. How many times have you watched the Eagles game, Ty, and they showed Bradley Cooper up in or Mike Trout, and no one's like, get him off the screen, get him off the screen, because nobody really cares.
Spike Lee and Jack Nicholson are at every Knicks and Lakers game. I guess it's a little different because they've been fans for their whole life. However, Taylor Swift she's a big fan now. Maybe she's wasn't a Chiefs fan
dating one of the players on the team. Like, who cares?
She
now if they were showing Brittany Mahomes up there, I would understand the outrage because she's annoying.
Yeah, nobody wants to see her, but it's also they're not showing them for long. Like New York Times made an article and said, an average of 25 seconds per game she's on the screen. Like, wow, what a terrible thing to see. A beautiful, intelligent, smart, amazing artist is on my TV screen after Travis Kelce catches a touchdown. I can't believe it. Oh my God, the world is ending. Jerry Jones. How many times do they show Jerry Jones' ugly fucking face on TV during the game, post game, halftime, quarter, everything?
Or that hippopotamus Chris Christie sitting next to him at the game.
Nobody wants to see that shit. And then they start talking to them. Nobody wants to hear what they have to say. Jerry Jones just said something earlier this week that it was what was the quote? It was like, we're not going to not build for the future, but I say we will not. It was just a bunch of jumbo. I'm like, bro, nobody wants to hear from him. So just to touch on the game a little bit, though, is, the Ravens just absolutely folded when the situation presented itself. Big game, you're number one seed at home. All you have to do is not fuck up. Don't shoot yourself in the foot, and you can probably win this game. And the Chiefs are a team that won't do that. They've been here. They've done that. They had no turnovers. They dominated the time of possession battle, 37-22. 3 turnovers for Baltimore to the Chiefs, 0. 8 penalties to the Chiefs, 3 penalties. And the Chiefs got 5 first downs from penalties. That's the game. That's the game right there. Also, Lamar Jackson, another bad performance in the playoffs. It kind of happens.
Not good for that narrative, man. Really.
As I sneeze, it happens to him. And 20 of 37, 272 yards. I mean, he just looked off the whole game. And the throw at the end of the game into triple coverage, I just have no idea what he was looking at. But I think a big part of that was the receivers in general are just not good. Zay Flowers, I like him, but man,
The fumble killed him, man. Yeah, he had a mental breakdown. That just seemed like the moment got like too big for these guys, and the Chiefs been there, done that. Yeah, they were driving in. That was such a good drive. They were feeding Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is a great player. It's just he's a young kid. And maybe this is something that they can grow from and get better, as a team from. But it just seems like the Ravens with Lamar Jackson have great regular seasons, and they just come up short. So in some way, somehow, they just always come up short in these big moments. But it was a great game. I mean, you talk about Travis Kelce. Guy had 11 catches, 17 yards and a touchdown, 116 yards and a touchdown. The guy was cooking. Pat Mahomes looked as elite as he ever has, just making plays, and they just again figured out a way to win. Now you want to talk about imploding. The Detroit Lions against the San Francisco 49ers, the game after this. Two pretty good games. It's all you can ask for when you get to these NFC Championship and AFC Championship games. Yeah, it was pretty high score, 34-31. The Lions scored 27. I'm sorry, the 49ers, I should say, scored 27 unanswered points in the second half to win this game. And I saw all sorts of people killing Dan Campbell for going for it or it's his fault. Listen, that guy was going for it all season long. You can't it would have been fraudulent of him to, in some of those instances, not go for it. Now, I understand the questionable one was not going for, maybe he shouldn't have gone for the last one, maybe kick the field goal. But where is the guarantee that guy's going to bomb a 50-yarder?
That team, first off, that team is not getting a stop on defense. Not happening.
Exactly.
Field goals are not winning you games against the Niners with that kind of garbage defense. Absolute. The fact that Aaron Glenn's getting head coaching interviews just kind of boggling my mind because that defense is dog shit. They have a couple good players for sure, but and also Michael Badgley stinks. He was missing 30-yarders when they signed him. Why would you trot him out in the playoffs for 40-plus yarders? So then he misses, and it's like, well, why didn't you go for it, Dan? You went for it all year.
Exactly.
And people are saying, oh, now Dan Campbell he's too analytics have taken over. He's getting too analytical. I'm like, Dan Campbell is about as far away from an analytical guy that you can possibly get. He's a tough, hard-nosed guy that just his decision-making lines up with analytics. It's kind of a perfect chemistry, perfect balance, it worked all year, and it didn't work in the playoffs or in that game. It could have worked. The conversation should be around how pathetic Josh Reynolds is as a player. He drops 2 huge passes, and then he goes on. They ask him about it. He's like, "Oh, shit happens." Like, yeah, shit does happen. That's why you're going to be a free agent next year. The Jahmyr Gibbs fumble, absolute fucking backbreaker. What was the interception that turned into a 50-yard catch from Ayuk?
Yeah.
The drop kick from Kindle Vildor. The Lions had 4 or 5 plays that are just backbreakers. I saw somebody say, I think it was EPA per play, and some of the lowest plays that had a huge effect were all from the Lions out of all the games, out of all the playoffs so far. So that just shows you how crushing those plays were and how just bad they fucking fumbled literally and figuratively down the stretch in that game.
Yeah,
multiple times where they could have just put it away. St. Brown didn't do anything in the second half. But I mean, the 2 Josh Reynolds drops, the one especially, I think it was third and 2 or 4th and 2. Oh my God! I don't even know. I wouldn't bring him back. I just off that alone, I'm like, yo, hit the showers, bro. Hit the free agency market. I don't have a problem with him going for it. I really don't. I'm a guy who's always aggressive and going for it, especially when your defense is probably gonna just, you can't rely on your defense to get a stop. You can't rely on your kickers. So what else are you gonna do? I mean, you have one of the best offenses in the league, and it should have worked, but it didn't. So.
I'm with you. I'd rather take the game in my own hands and worry about, we didn't make the play as opposed to us sitting back on our heels and hoping that the 49ers, who have a juggernaut offense, don't figure out a way to get 30, 40 yards to get in the field goal range. Yeah, I'm with you. That's why I didn't understand the whole Dan Campbell lost him this game. Dan Campbell, yeah, you're an idiot. Oh, just keep listening to the analytics.
Crazy.
Keep listening to the analytics. It's those kind of people are just looking for a way to shit on the numbers aspect, and believe me, me either. Not a big numbers analytics looking at a calculator to make a decision. I'm totally okay with that, but Dan Campbell's not the guy to use as that example. Yeah, I
No.
couldn't agree more. He is just aggressive, and I'm pretty sure that the analytics wouldn't have told you to go for the 2 points when you're on the 8 yard line or 7 yard line, against the Cowboys during the regular season. But he still did it because he's aggressive, and he told his team, "We're going to go down there and we're going to score a touchdown. We're going to go for 2, and we're going to win the game." He at the very least, that man is always consistent, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it goes. Are you excited for the Super Bowl? I am. I think this is probably the best matchup that they could have gotten.
I see people shitting on it like, oh, nobody wants to see this game. Like, who the fuck doesn't? This is like
I
the
think
two
that's
best
like
teams.
Eagles fans
It's a
that are
rematch.
like mad that it's like two teams that they don't really have like a team to root for, I guess. Because
It's so many people are like, oh man, it's Brock Purdy, and it's the Niners, it's Mahomes and Kelsey, and just poo-pooing the game because it's like the teams and the guys that we see there before. It's a rematch. Like people want the Lions, the feel-good story. Nobody wants to see the Chiefs. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are the best team. They're going to give you the best game. Remember last year's Super Bowl? If it wasn't the Eagles in it, we would have been like, yo, what a fucking amazing game. Even though we still say that, but and then the Niners. I mean, George Kittle, Kyle Shanahan, they've been talking. They're like, yo, we've been waiting for this to get our revenge. So I think it's going to be an absolute slobber knocker from the start. I would go with the under. I feel like that would be my play if I had one, but I don't know how to bet for shit, so don't listen to me. But either way, I'm picking the Chiefs. I can't see how they don't get it done. I can't see. I mean, they were underdogs against the Bills. They were underdogs against the Ravens. Are they still underdogs against the Niners? I know they were. They opened up as one. I don't know if it dropped at all or anything. Not having Joe Tooney sucks, but obviously it didn't even matter. Like, this team just knows how to get it done. They know how to win. Patrick Mahomes is – I mean, what can you say about him? Kelsey, Andy Reid, L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, an underrated cornerback duo in KC also. They're just getting it done, man. They put Charles Omenihu in. He got a strip sack. Then he tore his ACL, so that fucking sucked. But, they have these guys. They plug and play. Willie Gay gets hurt. They put in Drew Tranquill. They just they just get it, I think, as an overall organization from top to bottom. The punter, the long snapper, the backup running back, everybody. So I guess you could say the same about San Francisco too, We'll see. We'll see if there's any injuries that pop up. I don't think there's anything crazy or anybody that's like a game time decision or might be. So I think that should be good. Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm really excited. I'm going to say 24-20 KC.
Yeah, and we'll get more into it next week when the game starts to get a little bit closer. But for now, I'm with you. I think I'm gonna
are
bet the
now
Chiefs.
listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.